partial crossover is when you step over one pipe and go into the one next to it. Now with 15mm pipe, the maximum partial crossover is 100mm. Over 100mm, we've got plenty of room to go up and over and back in for a full crossover. So, we'll mark it out as for an 80mm partial crossover. Again, we need a baseline. And a centre point. Centre point of the bend. Notice it is slightly over to the side. It's not in the centre of the page. Now we're doing it for an 80mm. Now that 80mm comes from because we've got a pipe and then another pipe, and the bend will come along, up, over and into that one. The first thing we do is measure centre to centre what we're actually crossing over. That tells us the distance there and there. In this case, we'll say it's 80mm. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, we'll use the same gap, 15mm gap over a 15mm pipe. And there's our template for an 80mm partial crossover. Now with 15mm pipe, keep the long side to the left, because the right side will always get cut, because there's going to be a fitting at this end to receive the pipe. This bend is going to come along, up and over an obstacle and into the pipe that passed it. So the first thing we do is measure centre to centre of the obstacle that we're going over, and that distance tells us that distance. So when we're marking the pipe out, it's very similar to a full crossover, but there's only 2 bends instead of 3. However, we need to make sure that when we bend it, there's enough pipe to cross this baseline, because we need to put a mark on the pipe. So we're going to bend it there. Set the ruler. Pipe in position. And then mark the centre of the bend. In line with the standing end, touch, touch, dissect the angle. Just ensure the 2 lines are together, and then bend to the angle of the ruler. Lay the pipe back on the template. You can see we've just got enough at this end to draw tangent lines on. This is the important side. This side will always get cut. Back in as before. That was the angle of our ruler. We don't need that anymore. Lining up on the side of the former, that's going to tell us the angle to pull to after we've lined it through. Once we do that, that will tell us how far to go. Be careful that you don't pull the same angle twice. That will make it an offset. Back on your template, meets the angle, and once you get your fittings, that side always gets measured and cut first, then deal with this side.